Hey, it's Dylan Warren here, and I'm here at the Chicago event at Power Network, and I'm here with Paul Hutchings. And, Paul has this wonderful call, and I'm sure you've heard about it. I talk about it all the time. It's called the Think and Grow Rich call. And Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about it, and tell some of these people that haven't been on the call exactly what it is, and
all right, cool. Well, Dylan, man, honored to meet you here. Just so excited to, be masterminding with you, and appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about the call. So basically, about 3 years ago, I had been struggling trying to make money from home for 6 years, and nothing was working. Joined company after company after company, followed leader after leader, tried all sorts of different things, went door to door, passed out flyers, and I came to a point back in the end of 2009, it was about December, and I was just, I had quit my job because I talked my wife into letting me quit my job because I said, honey, maybe we're not succeeding because we just haven't gone all in, and I still have this job over here. So my wife, bless her heart, she believed in me, and she says, go ahead and quit your job. So something interesting happened. I quit my job, and over the next 6 months, my income actually went down. And I had 2 little kids at the time. We had our 3rd son in December of 2009. And here I am, the husband, the father. I'm the guy, I'm the one that's supposed to provide for my family, and nothing I was doing was working. And so there was a night back in 2009 where I was tucking my 2 oldest sons in bed. This is a true story. So, I tell this all the time, and some people are like, yeah, right. True story. I was tucking my 2 oldest sons in bed. I'd read them their stories. They'd fallen asleep, and I'm sitting there looking at their faces. And I just started to cry because I didn't know. I really just had no clue on what I was going to do, and I didn't know how I was going to feed them, and I wanted to be a good husband and a good dad, and nothing I was doing was working. So I knelt down at the side of their bed, and I prayed, and I said, God, please, I've done everything that I can think of doing. Nothing is working. Please show me a way out of this. And one of the things that I believe came from that prayer was I got this thought, this inspiration to pick up the book, Think and Grow Rich, and not just read it like I had done several times before. I'd read it and said, oh, this is a great book, and let me start on another one. And then I started on another one. I got this thought that I needed to really study this book and do what it taught me to do. I believe that was an inspiration. So I started to study the book. When it told me to do something, I folded down the corner, and I actually did it because I was desperate. And I was like, I hope this works. Please let it work. And one of the things that it taught me to do, amongst many things, was to repeat my major definite purpose and my self-confidence formula every day. So there I was in the driveway outside my 1984 single-wide trailer house after my kids had all gone to bed. My wife's in, getting ready for bed, and there I am walking out in the driveway looking up at the stars. I'm a guy of faith, so what I would do is I would pray first, and then after I got done praying, I would say my major definite purpose and my self-confidence formula, and it was like I was talking to God and the universe, and I did that night after night after night, and as I kept doing it, something happened, and that was I started to have belief come into my body. I started to have belief come into my mind. I started to, my major definite purpose, the money that I had been wanting so bad for 6 years but was making no progress towards, I started to see that it was not only possible, but that it was pretty much already in the bank. I knew it was there, and all I needed to do was perform the service I needed to perform, and that money would come into my life. And I got faith. I literally got faith. And everything changed in my business. The way that I talked to people, the way that I did my videos, the way that I wrote my emails, the way that I wrote my articles, because I had this belief. And that came from Think and Grow Rich. So I was like, man, people need this stuff. My team needs this stuff. And so I started hosting a call every day where it started out to where we would basically just read a little bit of the book, and then mastermind, and it started out with me and my one friend Chris from Southeast Idaho, and we kept doing it, and we kept doing it, and we kept doing it, and what it's turned into now is we have over 300 people on the line, and it's literally turned into a real mastermind. And I remember like reading Think and Grow Rich the first few times, and I'm like, man, he talks about this mastermind. What is it? And how do I do one? You know, like who do I call? Like, and I even tried. Like I called a couple friends, and we tried to and it just never worked. You know. But this call has turned into a real mastermind to where it's like formed a brain of its own. Like there's 300 people that come together, and there's real, in addition to reading from the book, there's real wisdom and insight and passion that comes from all of these people that come on the call from all over the world. We've got a guy from Paris, France. We got a guy from Holland who's here at this event, and people all throughout the United States. And it's just turned into something that I never could have imagined. It gives me faith every day. It keeps me going. I hear stories of people's lives being changed, people losing weight, people having hope where they didn't have hope before. I mean, it's just amazing what it's turned into. And I really believe that it was inspired. You know, I really believe that God did inspire me to, because I needed an answer. I got it for me, and I believe that it's turned into something that's really defined and is helping a lot of people. So hope that wasn't too long.
That's an amazing story. And you know, it really doesn't help. It doesn't. You are helping so many people. And you talk about your major, definite purpose. Well, I carry mine actually with me all the time. And I have it in my wallet, and I read it before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. And I keep it with me because you never know those times that you might just need it. It really helps you out. And it's given me faith and belief as well. And I just want to be a testimony to you all that this does work. My faith has grown so much in not only this business, but in my life. And I think back on a lot of things that, and the ways I used to think about money and about my situation. And it's almost, it's a different person. And I don't understand how I grew up that way. And it's different. And I just wanted to say thank you, Paul. And you don't know how much, just this little tiny thing, these few things that Paul has brought to my life in this call. And like you, I've read the book, but I got on the call and I would listen to you, and then I would go and I would read it, and I would listen. And it's helped me beyond you'll never know. And it can help you too. And that is why I promote this call so much, because I know this, because I have it right here. Thank you, Paul. Paul does work, and the mastermind does work. There's just as much information and wisdom and nuggets that come out in that mastermind at the end of the call than what's in that book. And you can hear the people's passion and the love that they have. And, you know, when you hear them come out, they'll say, hey, Think and Grow Rich family. And you know, it's a family. It is so neat. And even if I'll be on the replay, okay? I'll be on the replay. And I've been in my car cheering out loud in my car. You know, replay. I know these people can't even hear me.
You can't do it while you're driving.
But you know what? It's so awesome. It's so amazing. And thank you so much for all this, Paul.
Yeah.
And, you know, this thing, it has become a life of its own.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything you've done.
And imagine how many lives you're impacting with your example, you know, inviting people to call, doing what you're doing, and man, there's no stopping.
There's no stop. Thank you very much. Thanks. All right.